ललिता श्रीविशाखा। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, resuming our study and discussion from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer to all the questions. The 10 characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara ishanu katha nirodha muktirashaya dashamasya vishuddhi artham नवनम इह लक्षणम वर्णयन्ति महात्मनः श्रुतेन अर्थेन चान्यसा. So the first two verses describes these 10 characteristics. Who all have memorized the verses? The first two verses to be memorized. And the next 7 verses will discuss the 10 topics. Recite, Purushottam, the verse. Without saying, देख के नहीं.
प्रभु जी मुझे अभी भी याद नहीं हुआ है.
याद नहीं, प्रयास नहीं किया, करते रहिए. इंटरनलाइज करने का प्रयास करिए इस प्रोसेस को. एक्सटर्नल प्रयास तो हमने पिछले जन्म में भी किया, तभी भक्ति करने का इस जन्म में अवसर मिल रहा है. लेकिन अगर इसको इंटरनलाइज नहीं करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे. Pradeep, you memorize these verses? You are hearing, Pradeep?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, recite.
Prabhuji, not memorized.
Why? I told you. I told all of you. Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, first verse I know, but second verse
बोलो, first verse
don't know.
बोलिए.
श्री शुक उवाच अत्र सर्ग विसर्गश्च स्थानं पोषणमुत्थाय मन्वन्तरे ईशानुकथन निरोध मुक्तिराश्रय.
Yeah. So what are the 10 subject matters or the 10 topics? Manoram Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the translation or the sloka?
Both. First recite the sloka and then you explain what are the 10 topics.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Atra Sarga Visargascha Sthanam Pushanam Utaya Manantara Ishanukatha Niruddha Muktir Ashraya. So the 10 subject matters spoken are Sarga and Visarga first two. Sarga means the primary creation and Visarga is the secondary creation. And
Yeah, what is the primary creation?
primary creation by the Supreme Lord, Prabhuji.
Which Supreme Lord?
This is by Mahavishnu.
Yes, the Purusha incarnations. Yes.
And after that, secondary creation by Lord Brahma. And
Okay.
then the planetary systems, the Sthanam. And also the mm, protection by the Supreme Lord is been spoken as Bhushana.
Yeah.
And,
It is
Uttaya,
maintenance, protection, maintenance, sustenance. Yes, Poshanam.
and Uttaya is the creative impetus, Prabhuji.
In between, you have skipped one. Atra sargas visargasta sthanam poshanam utaya. Okay, poshanam, yes.
And then about the different Manu avatars is Manantwara.
Okay,
And about the signs of the Supreme Lord is Ishanu Katha.
very good. Which
And
canto is Ishanu Katha?
yes, Prabhuji.
Which canto? Which canto talks about Ishanu Katha predominantly? The 10, 12 cantos, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyone who knows which canto talks about Ishanu Katha? Yes, Sonika.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Samam Bonam, 10th canto.
I am asking about Ishanu Katha you are talking about. I am asking about the Ishanu Katha. Which canto talks about Ishanu Katha? The science of God. You are saying the 10th canto. 10th canto. No. 10th canto is Ashraya. That is the second verse, which speaks about it. Ishanu Katha is the 7th canto, predominantly the 7th canto, Science of God. Okay. Then next.
Prabhuji, next is the process to going back to Godhead is Nirodha,
Very good.
and Mukti is liberation.
Yes. What is the
Ashra,
understanding of liberation? We discussed briefly. What is liberation? What is liberation? Anyone remembers what is liberation? Purushottam, what is liberation? What is mukti? Boy,
Give up from subtle and
subtle and
gross.
yeah, giving up the subtle and gross changing bodies and being situated in the eternal body. That is the soul. Mukti hitva anyatha rupam. Swarupena vyavasthiti. Please remember this definition. Very important definition. What is mukti? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam. What is the Anyata Rupam? Anyata Rupam is identification with gross and subtle bodies, which is ever changing, which is impermanent. And Swarupena Vyavasthiti. And what is the Swarupa? Swarupa of Jiva is Atma, which is eternal, which is changeless. Okay. And the final is Ashraya. Okay, so these are the 10 topics or the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the second verse says that Dasamasya Vishuddhi Artham. So, these 9 topics, the 9 subjects are there to come to the important position. This is Navanam Iha Lakshanam. To come to the 10th topic, Varnayati Mahatmanam. So, the great saintly people describe this Srimad Bhagavatam. The 10th topic, how? By 3 ways. Shrutena, Arthena, Cha Anjasa. Okay, so this we have discussed. So we'll proceed. Please try to at least study for some time. At least 10 to 15 minutes you should study before we start the class, so that we have better understanding, clear understanding. To isolate the transcendence of the summum bonum, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic evidence, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanation given by the great sages. It is Shrutena, Arthena, and Anjasa. So Srimad Bhagavatam is described in 3 ways. By whom? Who described Srimad Bhagavatam? The great sages. We have seen at least how many pairs of speakers and hearers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam? At least 3. Who will name them? Pradeep, what are the 3 sets of hearers and speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam? Quickly, don't take time.
Hare Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay. Who are the others? Set of speakers. How does Bhagavatam begin? We have spent first canto 19 chapters, second canto 9 chapters, 28 chapters have been studied in more than a year's time. Priyanka?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, and for Sutta Goswami to sages.
Yes.
And in first canto, Narad Muni says to Vyasadeva.
No. What is the third set? Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Vidurji and Maitreya Muni.
Very good. Vidurji and Maitreya Muni. That will come more later in the third canto. Third canto, we will see the Vidur Maitreya Samvad. Third canto, fourth canto, predominantly fifth canto is all Vidur Maitreya Samvad. So that there are at least 3. So this is being explained. Varnayati Mahatmana. How? Shrutena, Arthena, Cha, Anjasa. In 3 ways. Okay. So the first aspect, the first topic is Sarga. Sarga is being explained here. We will discuss in the third chapter the creation. So what is creation? Is Bhut Matra Indriya Dhriyam Janma Sarga Uda. Then Brahmano Guna Vaishramyat Visarga Parushasmita. So the third verse is talking about Sarga and also the Visarga. The primary creation and the secondary creation. So what is the primary creation? The elementary creation of the 16 items of matter. This we discussed. And the subsequent resultant interaction of the modes of material nature is called Visarga. So that we have discussed. And the fourth verse, it talks about Sthanam and Poshanam. You see? Sitir Vaikuntha Vijay Poshanam Tat Anugraha. So what is the Sthanam? Sthanam is the Vaikuntha Vijaya, the victory of the Lord of Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha is the spiritual planet. The right situation of the living entity is to obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Poshanam, under the protection of the Lord. The Manus and their laws are meant to give right direction. This is Manvantara. Manvantara is also there. Manvantarani, Shad Dharma. And Utaya. Utaya is the creative impetus. So, the fourth verse is covering 4 topics. What are the 4 topics? Is Sitir Vaikuntha, this is Sthanam, and Poshanam, Tad Anugraha, and Manvantarani, Manvantara, the change of the Manus. The perfect occupational duties is Shad Dharma is the occupational duty, and Utaya Karma Vasana. Utaya is the creative impetus, and how the impetus is coming is Karma Vasana, a fruitive activity, a desire for fruitive activities. I'll read this once again to connect and then we go further. This material world is created, maintained for some time, and again annihilated by the will of the Lord. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. The ingredient for creation and for subordinate creator Brahma are first created by Lord Vishnu in his first and second incarnations. That is Mahavishnu and Garbhodakshai Vishnu. The first Purusha incarnation is Mahavishnu and the second Purusha incarnation is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So this is what? This is all Sarga. And from whom Brahma is created? The third Purusha avatar is Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who lives as the super soul of everything in the universe and maintains the creation generated by Brahma. Shiva is one of the many sons of Brahma and he annihilates the creation. Therefore, the original creator of the universe is Vishnu and he is also the maintainer of the created beings by his causeless mercy. So that is Poshnam. As such, it is the duty of all conditioned souls to acknowledge the victory of the Lord and thus become his pure devotees and live peacefully in this world. This is Sthanam. Whereas miseries and dangers are always in existence. Where miseries and dangers are always in existence. What is the verse? Miseries and dangers are always in existence. What is the verse? Come on, very famous. Material existence, there is miseries and dangers. Or there is opportunity for enjoyment and sense gratification. What is the verse which confirms this statement? Why Prabhupada is quoting this statement? What is the verse? Who has this realization? Very, very famous verse. Yes, Ramya? बोलिए.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
बोलिए.
प्रभु जी, समासित पद पल्लवम हरे मुरारी.
समाश्रिता ये पाद पल्लवो प्लवा महत पदम पुण्यो यशो मुरारे. Yes. Then next.
पदम पदम विपदनम
Yeah,
विपदनम
padam padam.
तेषम.
Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. So this material world, padam padam tad vipadam. There is danger at every step. But we don't see that. Where is danger here? There is opportunity to enjoy. There is opportunity for sense gratification. The conditioned souls who take this material creation as the place for satisfaction of the senses and thus are illusioned by the external energy of Vishnu remain again to be subjected to the laws of material nature, creation and destruction. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that beginning from the topmost planet of the universe down to the lowest planet, Patal Lok, all are destructible. And the conditioned souls may travel in space either by good or bad work or by modern spacecraft. But they are sure to die everywhere. Although the duration of life on different planets is different, the only means to attain eternal life is to go back home, back to Godhead. This is Nirodha, winding up. Where there is no more rebirth, as in the material planets. The conditioned souls, being unaware of this very simple fact, because of forgetting their relationship with the Lord of Vaikuntha, try to plan out a permanent life in this material world. Being illusioned by the external energy, they thus become engaged in various types of economic and religious development. It is Artha and Dharma, forgetting that they are meant for going home back to Godhead. This forgetfulness is so strong due to the influence of Maya that the conditioned souls do not at all want to go back to Godhead. By sense enjoyment, they become victim of birth and death repeatedly and thus spoil their human lives, which are chances for going back to Vishnu. The directive scriptures made by the Manus in different ages and millenniums are called Shad-dharma. So one should have Shad-dharma priksha. One should have this inquisitiveness, good guidance for the human beings who should take advantage of all the revealed scriptures for their own interest to make life's successful termination. This is all Nirodha being explained. The creation is not false, but it is temporary manifestation just to give a chance for the conditioned soul to go back to Godhead. The desire to go back to Godhead and functions performed in that direction from the right path of work. When such a regulative path is accepted, the Lord gives all protection to his devotees by his causeless mercy. While the non-devotees risk their own activities to bind themselves in the chain of fruitive reactions. That is the chain of karma. The word Sadharma is significant in this connection. Sadharma or duty performed for going back to Godhead by becoming his unalloyed devotee is the only pious activity. Other activities may appear to be pious, but actually they are not. Why? Sadharma or duty performed for going back to Godhead by becoming his unalloyed devotee is the only pious activity. Other activities may appear to be pious, but actually they are not. Why? And how? Respond quickly, don't take so much time. Actually, we should always deliberate. Will my action, will it lead me to return home back to Godhead? Then there should be the impetus, utaya, to perform it. Else we should not be engaged in it. Why it is the only pious action and no other action is pious action in this material world or existence? Yes, Ravindra bro? Your hand is up?
Yes, Prabhuji, there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think. Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakala Sant.
Krishna Bhakti Nishkam Ateva Shanta. But how does it fit in here? We're talking about pious and impious activities. Prabhupada is quoting that any action which leads one to return home back to Godhead is only pious. Otherwise, all are impious. He's not talking about peace. That verse that you quoted is talking about one who is peaceful. Here it is talking about pious, not peaceful. Yes, बोलिए प्रियंका.
प्रभु जी क्षीणे पुणे मर्त्य लोक विशन्ति अगर पुण्य कर्म हाँ पुण्य कर्म कम हो जाता है तो फिर से रिवर्थ लेना पड़ता है.
Anyways, karma means next body, creation of next body. So whether you perform pious or impious activity, you will remain in this chained victimization of birth and death. One has to exist within the material creation. He cannot be freed. So it is all impious. Because the jiva remains bound. The soul is bound. Sadharma or duty performed for going back to Godhead by becoming his unalloyed devotee is the only pious activity. Other activities may appear to be pious, but actually they are not. It is for this reason only that the Lord advises in the Bhagavad Gita that one give up all so-called religious activities and completely engage in devotional service of the Lord to become free from all anxieties due to dangerous life of material existence. What is this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada is quoting. What is this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Yes, Pradeep bro.
प्रभु 18.50 सर्वधर्माणि परित्यजेन अहमेकं शरणं व्रजे अहं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि.
Yeah, very good. So this is the emperor verse of Bhagavad Gita. Sarv dharmani prityaje. One's aim of life should be to go back home, back to Godhead, and not be subjected to repeated birth and death in the material world by getting good or bad bodies for temporary existence. Herein lies the intelligence of human life, and one should desire to perform activities of life in that way. For that, one has to be convinced first that there is the spiritual world and there is spiritual existence. Unless and until one has this conviction and clarity, where is the possibility of having any desire? Unless and until the conception is there, the conviction is there is no question of any aspiration. So that is why we have to hear and study. From where? From Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita. To connect to the spiritual platform. And repeatedly here, that is why we go to Dham Yatras. What is the purpose? To have the genuine sprouting of this desire that I don't want any material existence. Enough. I have suffered enough now. Now I want to go to the spiritual abode of the Supreme Lord. Okay, we move ahead. Any questions so far on these 10 topics? I don't see much participation coming. कोई question पूछ ही नहीं रहा क्योंकि कोई पढ़ ही नहीं रहा, समझ ही नहीं रहा. One is not, scratching his head or his heart to understand what is this. बोलो दयाशील प्रभु, बोलिए.
Prabhu ji, in the first paragraph, it's written that as such, it is the duty of all conditioned soul to acknowledge the victory of the Lord.
Yeah.
Prabhu ji, victory of the Lord.
Victory of the Lord is Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijaya. So the real sthanam is the place of residence of the living entity is not in this material world. Material world is a place of every step there is danger and suffering. So where one has to return? He has to return to the spiritual abode. So it is presented in the Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijaya. So Vaikuntha means there is no Kuntha. It is a place of joyful experience and bliss. And who will go there? Who has overcome the existence of death. He has stepped over death and he has gone to the abode of being deathless. So Vijay, Vaikuntha Vijaya. Victory of the Lord of Vaikuntha. Okay, it is a way of presentation. Vaikuntha is the place where the Lord resides. And if the Jiva returns, it is victorious. He is victorious. He has served the purpose of human life. One understanding. It can be explained in many, many ways. You see the verse? It is written Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijaya. So what is Sthiti? Sthiti is the right situation for the living entity. He is rightly placed. That is the sthanam. So the sthanam of the living entity is not in this material world. It is in the spiritual world. That is Vijay. One has to become victorious over this evil of death. Vaikuntha Vijay. This is my understanding. If I have to see, then I have to look into Acharya's commentary. What is the explanation of Sthiti Vaikuntha Vijaya? Not much is given about it. I was reading precisely, but not much is mentioned. Okay, anyone else? Must be questions. the 10 topics.
हरे
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी होता है जो क्रिएटिव इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है प्रभु जी, समझ में नहीं आया।
क्रिएटिव इम्पल्स, किसी भी एक्शन को करने के पीछे हमारी प्रेरणा क्या है? भौतिक जगत में किसी भी कार्य को करने के पीछे प्रेरणा क्या है? क्या प्रेरणा है? व्हाट इज द क्रिएटिव इम्पल्स? कोई भी कार्य करते हैं उसके पीछे क्या हमारे को इंस्पिरेशन है? पूछिए, आपसे पूछ रहा हूं मैं, बताइए। इस श्लोक में लिखा हुआ है, ध्यान से पढ़ो। मैंने बोला था, पकड़िए। क्या है? व्हाट इज द संस्कृत टर्म मेंशन? अभी तो बताया था।
होता है प्रभु जी।
क्या है उतया? क्या है? फ्रॉम वेयर इज उतया कमिंग? Anyone else who has caught it? What is the utaya?
वो तो यह कर्म वासना, fruit
Yeah,
reaction.
utaya is karma vasana. Vasana, you desire to enjoy, fruitive. Material world, the aspiration is only because of the desire to enjoy. Karma vasana. ध्यान से पढ़ो, सुनो। सुन भी नहीं रहे हैं ना, इसलिए कुछ पकड़ भी नहीं रहे हैं। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट 10 टॉपिक्स ऑफ श्रीमद् भागवतम। ओके, सो वी प्रोसीड। We go to the 5th verse. अवतारानुचरितं हरेर्चा अस्य अनुवर्तिना पुंसामीशा कथा प्रोक्ता नानाख्याना उपभ्रमिता। So this is talking about अवतारास अनुचरितम हरे चा अस्या अनुवर्तिनम। So which topic is this? This is the science of God. The science of God describes the incarnations of the personality of Godhead and its different activities. Anuvartinam is his followers, and Anucharitam is his activities. Avtaras, the various incarnations. Anucharitam, Hare, Cha Asya Anuvartinam. This talks about the various incarnations of the Supreme Lord. It also talks about the devotees. This is Isha Katha, science of God. Prokta, it is said, Nana Akhyana, various narrations. Upabharmita, described. So the science of God describes the incarnation, the personality of Godhead and his different activities together with the activities of his great devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is first line canto. It is describing about the devotees of the Lord. Unless and until one has taken shelter of the devotees of the Lord, there is no question of him to have any access to the 10th canto, which is the Samam Bhona or the Ashraya. During the course of the existence of the cosmic manifestations, the chronology of history is created, recorded. The activities of the living entities, people in general have a tendency to learn the history and narrations of different men at times. But due to lack of knowledge in the science of Godhead, they are not apt to study the history of the incarnations of the personality of Godhead. जीवों का सुन लेते हैं, लेकिन भगवान के बारे में नहीं जानते, the science of Godhead. They are not apt to study the history of the incarnations of the personality of Godhead. It should always be remembered that the material creation is created for the salvation of the conditioned soul. Very important. What is the purpose of material creation? ओ ऊपर वाले तेरे मन में ना जाने क्या आई, काहे को तूने दुनिया बताई। काहे को दुनिया बनाई? दुनिया इसलिए बनाई ताकि जो जीव बद्ध है वो मुक्त हो जाए, बद्ध अवस्था से छूट जाए। The merciful Lord, out of his causeless mercy, descends to various planets in the material world and acts for the salvation of the conditioned soul. 2 times Prabhupada is mentioning the same point in this purport. That makes the history and narration worth reading. Srimad Bhagavatam offers such transcendental topics of the Lord in relationship with his great devotees. So what is Srimad Bhagavatam? It is the presentation of loving exchanges of the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. Why? To revoke and revive our lost relationship. And if we are able to do that, then our liberation is guaranteed. Our salvation is guaranteed. Therefore, the topics of the devotees and the Lord are to be given respectful oral reception. So this is Ishanu Katha. This topic is talking about Ishanu Katha. Then the 6th verse. Nirodhasya anushayanam atmana sah shakti muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. So it's talking about Nirodha. What is Nirodha? Is the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Why winding up? To return to the supreme abode. The merging of the living entity along with the conditioned living tendency with the mystic lying down of the Mahavishnu is called the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Liberation is the permanent situation in the form of the living entity after it gives up the changeable gross and subtle material bodies. So this verse is talking about 2 aspects. What is that? Nirodha and Mukti. Nirodha and Mukti. As we have discussed several times, there are 2 types of living entities. Most of them are ever liberated or Nitya Muktas, while some of them are ever conditioned. Nitya Mukta and Nitya Baddha. The 2. Nitya Mukta, those who are in the spiritual world, and Nitya Baddha, who are in this material world. The ever conditioned souls are apt to develop a mentality of lording it over the material nature. And therefore, the material cosmic creation is manifested to give the ever conditioned soul 2 kinds of facilities. What are the 2 kinds of facilities? For those who have Ishwar Bhava or Karta Ahamiti Manyate. One facility is that the conditioned soul can act according to his tendency to lording it over the cosmic manifestation. And the other facility gives the conditioned soul a chance to come back to Godhead. So everyone has this choice. Either he can try to be the Lord of this world, or he can accept to be a subordinate and enter into the spiritual world. So after the winding up of the cosmic manifestations, which is Nirodha, most of the conditioned souls merge into the existence of the Mahavishnu, personality of Godhead, lying in his mystic slumber. So which situation is this? Prabhupada is saying here that most of the conditioned souls merge into the existence of the Mahavishnu, personality of Godhead, lying in his mystic slumber. What position is this? Those who have not answered, please answer. Pranav?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it is after the annihilation, the living entities.
No, after not the annihilation. This is the annihilation. The pralay. This is the pralay. And pralay is experienced only by those jiva who are not muktas. They are baddhas. So they remain compact in the body of Mahavishnu. They are not released. They remain within this material existence. To be created again in the next creation. But some of the conditions follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literatures, and thus able to go back to Godhead, attain their original spiritual bodies after quitting. This is mukti. The material conditional body is developed out of living entities' forgetfulness of their relationship with Godhead. And during the course of cosmic manifestations, the conditioned souls are given a chance to revive their original status of life with the help of revealed scriptures. Very important. With the help of revealed scriptures. So mercifully compiled by the Lord in his different incarnations. Reading or hearing. Hare Krishna, the connection was lost. So I'll continue reading. Please hear very attentively. The other day I was discussing the three very important aspects for all of us in this year of 2026. The first thing is trust in scriptures. That is the foundation. Trust in scripture, trust in spiritual personalities, trust in parampara, trust in spiritual master, trust in preeminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada. What is the